Hey everyone, my name's UltimateSpeedster and welcome back to another crispy Wizard101 video. In today's video, I'm going to be comparing the two nostalgic worlds of Marleybone and Mooshu. Now, when I make these type of videos, I usually put them into 5 different categories known as story, scenery, enemies, length, and enjoyment. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell, and put in the comment section below on what worlds you would like to see next. Let's get started. Hush. Start off with Marleybone first. Obviously, we go to Marleybone because the Croconomicon was bought there by Speedster after you got it from Crocotopia. Now, the whole story aspect of that going on, that's cool, but I enjoy how Moriarty got out of jail and how Speedster was more involved in Marleybone than he was in Mooshu. Now, I enjoyed how Crocotopia had an influence on Marleybone by the whole museum having a whole bunch of artifacts from that world. I also enjoyed the involvement of Sherlock Bones being involved in how he had to take down certain criminals and how they'll add on to the later story of how Moriarty, Cadenstein's lab, and how it all equals up to Speedster. I found it very enjoyable while I'm there, and I always love the story when I go. And every time I play through Marleybone, I don't mind sitting through the story and going there every time I make a new character. Now for Mooshu, we had to go to Mooshu to get the Dragon Spire key because the Emperor has the key on him, so we had to get the key to go get to Speedster. But when we go there, obviously the Emperor is not well, so we had to go heal him for us to be able to get the key. Now it had a good story, but throughout the journey of us going through Mooshu, it felt kind of drained out and repetitive, especially since it was the same kind of bosses over and over again. Now, I love the theme of it, and the story, again, I said it was cool, but I wish they just mixed it up a little bit more, and it seemed like the story would get dragged on too much. Now, the next category is scenery. Now, Marleybone is known to have like a dark sky kind of feel. It's nighttime, obviously, there, and I love how the stars are. I wish they had a day and night cycle for that on all the worlds, so we could see like Wizard City at nighttime and Crocotopia and all the other worlds. So I get props to that, but the rooftops are kind of the same. You really don't see no other scenery outside of the rooftops alone. The only other area that you see is like the jail and the main area that you walk out of the church from, where you go through the spiral door into the main area. Now, I will say this is the section where like Mooshu kind of picks up. Mooshu is brighter, it's more colorful, but I feel like it's kind of copy and pasted and repetitive by the way how you see the same grass, same trees all over the place, even the same like structures on all the streets. All the streets look very, very similar to each other, to where you can get confused on which street is what, especially if you don't look at your map. I will say I enjoy the scenery more in Mooshu. I also love how in the Tree of Life, when you had to fight the Oni there, he was in like this spiral type area. The sky theme was very different. You'll see it playing in the video as I'm talking about it, but I love the feel of that theme, and I love where you had to cross these rocks in a certain area, and there's a whole bunch of water around. You had to go around the Krakens and all of them. The next category is enemies. Now, the enemies in Marleybone I didn't find too difficult, but it was a little bit of a light breeze, you feel me? Because I'm a professional out here in the sport, but I felt like they were good, they were cool. Mooshu I felt was more difficult because they shielded a lot more, especially the balance minions that I fight. I would get annoyed with tremendously. It made it more difficult, which makes the game more fun, but at some point it gets annoying, especially if you want to get past the world. Now, the styles of the enemy I found more compelling in Mooshu than I did Marleybone. Marleybone has some interesting enemies, has some ghosts here and there, and some different robbers and all that type style of cats and, you know, hooligans and rats and all that. But I enjoy the style of Mooshu more, with the ninja pigs having different attire on. The skeletal pirates I found was really cool being there. The tree minions was kind of normal, but I enjoyed those types. Even though the Onis were overused, I love the design of each and every one of them. I think they're very unique. Now let's go into the length for the two worlds. Now, the length for Marleybone is only 50 main quests, which is not a lot at all compared to Mooshu, which has 91 main quest. So it's actually almost 2 times as long as Marleybone. Now, personal experience, I could tell that it's almost double the size of the length of Marleybone, because I'll be ready to leave Mooshu as fast as possible. Now, for the enjoyment aspect, I enjoy Marleybone and some aspects of Mooshu. I enjoy the aspects of Marleybone, from being the Big Ben Tower to how the story adds up with Speedster and how he's more involved in, especially in the final boss, you actually see him there. Because we actually haven't seen him since Wizard City. And I felt like that was kind of unique compared to Mooshu. Mooshu, just like the Jade Oni fight was the last fight and that was it, when we already fought a whole bunch of Jade Onis before. Now, comparing that to Mooshu, I didn't really care for the final fight because it was just a Jade Oni, and we fought Onis before, and he was actually just a solo Oni. He might have more health than the other Onis, but it felt like the same style with the other fights. So that's why I really didn't care about the boss fight too much. Another thing about the Big Ben Tower is if you knock over the milk, you get a special secret boss, which you get some cool gear from, which I find very useful and unique compared to Mooshu. Now they both can get very repetitive very quickly as scenery wise, especially if you're a person like me that just enjoys looking at a world. It can get very repetitive. I haven't noticed a lot of defeat and collect in the Marleybone, but I noticed them kind of heavily in Mooshu. And the story for me in Mooshu wasn't that entertaining. It was a beautiful world and it had some beautiful moments. I like how you had to unlock certain parts like the body, mind, and like spirit. Those unique things that I enjoy from the story. But other than that, it really didn't intrigue me. It didn't sink me in as usual. So in conclusion of it all, I'll have to say I enjoy Marleybone more than Mooshu. I'm not saying it's a bad world. This wasn't for me. Now let me know what y'all think in the comment section below, or what y'all enjoy more between Marleybone and Mooshu, and what worlds y'all would like to see next for me to compare. And if you haven't already, what you waiting for? Make sure you like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell to keep up with the crispiest Wizard101 and Pirate 101 content, walkthrough reviews, guides, all the epicness. Hope you have an amazing day. Stay safe out there. Peace.